Right. So in the last class, we discussed about some of the basic concept related to the review of literature concern. Is there any doubt to any one of you? They want to discuss or highlight, or they want to modify, rectify some of the things related to the last class concern so that we may proceed further? Any one of you?
No problem, sir.
All right. Anybody?
No, sir. No
No, sir,
problem,
we
sir.
can
Good.
proceed furtherly.
All
No
right. All
problem.
right. Good. All right. All right. Good. So in the last class, we discussed about a basic concept about review of literature concern, starting with the core issues of what is research, what is the different vision of research, what is literature review as far as the documentations, revisions, and its formation concern. We also discussed about its different concept, its meaning, and different definitions, a form of explanation given by some of the important people, along with its importance. What is the importance of review of literature concern? In that, we highlighted almost 10 or 12 important points of review of literature concern. Then we discuss about what is the purpose of dealing with the review of literature part, quoting the clear-cut example of different section of research, different section of a paper or research paper, or different section of the thesis concern. And then we end the class with a very formative information about its contribution in a purposeful manner. Right? Exactly, that was the thing that we discussed in the last class.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
in continuation of that, now let's proceed further with the same concept and try to define it in a much more fractionalized format, or what is called understanding format. As I told you, review of literature is everything for the research. Once you successfully complete your review of literature, your more than 50% of the work is over as far as the research concerned. You don't have to worry much. You are supposed to be mastery of your background area concern. Now, once you create the background, it is very important for us to use this raw facts, figure, and material in a sequential, circumferential, as well as discursive format. Then only this raw material become a useful material. Then now, important question arises over here is that how literature review will help you in proposed research. We discuss about its important, we discuss about its purpose, we discuss about its historical concept. Now let's try to discuss about how literature review will help you in your proposed research. So we may say that the literature review or review of literature will clarify the conceptual issues of your research related areas. First point. It will help you to learn about the research design for your research. Second point. It is an opportunity to pursue your examiner that your research is relevant, worth doing. When you discuss in your discussion part, second last chapter, you source it's your relevance of your finding with the other finding. Okay. And it will give you insight to contribute something new in your subject area. So you are actually adding the some more informations are in the information bank as a new information for the future course of action. Basically, basically, in a very structured form, we may say that there are three stages at which a literature or review of literature is needed. In the complete research concerns, there are three places where review of literature is very much required, and you have to thoroughly do it. That's why many times I should say to my student that review of literature materials should be like your personal diary. Whenever you are coming, whenever you are doing, whenever you are discussing, when you are doing any kind of things, related to your research concern, it must be in front of you. It is like a mirror, so that you can easily cross check, revise, review, and see the boundary whether you are moving in appropriate direction or not. Because knowledge never have any limit, knowledge never have any boundary, knowledge never have any prescribed zone. Whatever, if you want to expand, we can expand to any dimension. So there are three stages at which a review of literature is needed. First, a very early stage when nothing, you don't know anything, you are just a blank zero as far as the research concerned. In order to know in which area you want to do, what is the direction you have to flow, in what objective you have to you choose, what method you have to choose, how to proceed. So at a very early stage, you need the first early review of literature concern. Second, a review during the period of your research means the core review of literature concern. When you are really doing your finalizations of topic, finalization of objective, standardization of technique, standardization of methods, at that time you have to do the review of literature part. And third, at the stage of preparing your final report, means during the discussion part, when you are very clear, when you have collected your data, when you have find your finding, now you are in a mood to complete it, write it, and finalize it. During that time, you need the review of literature. So there is three stages: at the early stage, during the period of your research, and at the stage of your preparing your final report. Right? Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt up till now?
No, sir.
Good. All right. Like a very important and highly acceptable steps or explanation that was given by a great scientist called Creswell. Creswell has described a 5 steps to conduct a literature review. This is very important for all of you also. Those who are just entering in the field of research, those who enter in the field of writing your research. So he defined 5 steps to carry out the literature review. First steps, he said that identify a key term. Just identify a key term and start collecting the information based on that key term. Like somebody is working on health, somebody is working on nutrition, somebody is working on some operational activities, somebody is working on environment, somebody is working on any travel community, somebody is working on any specific group, somebody is working on any as such specific population. So that particular features are keywords, are key terms will be highly useful in nature to collect the information. So you extract keyword from your title, the title that you expected from that you think to be for your research. Remember, you may decide to change the title later. So this is a just tentative broad area. Okay. So use the keyword, first one, that is identify the keyword. To identify the key term, you can use thesaurus. You can use the specific site address. You can familiarize yourself with online databases. You can use relevant databases. Start with a general term from the database of thesaurus. Redefine your topic if needed. Identify landmark or classic studies and other different kinds of theories. So you start this keyword. Don't think that it's just a word. This keyword will give you a different dimensional information about the specific research area also. So the first step is identify the keywords. Second step is locate literature. Locate literature. So you use academic library. Do not limit your search to an electronic search of articles. Many times I've seen that people just sit on a computer, and if something is available on the computer, they just define it that. There are several other sources out there. You can use the primary and secondary sources. You can use the several libraries. You can use the several news media, printing or visual, audio visual one. You can use the government data. You can use the statistical information. You can use the several books which is not available on the electronic media, right? So the primary source is research reported by the researcher that is conducting the study. So you have to depend on the primary source, that is where you have directly collected the informations, or somebody is collecting the inform, or somebody in the process of collecting the information, or you can use the secondary sources also. Secondary sources means the product which is already published, which is already written, which is already in the form of known. Okay, so this locate literature, it is the best to report mostly primary sources. So we all know that locating literature, there are different types of literature. Some we find it in the form of summaries, some we find it from encyclopedia, some we find it from the dictionaries, glossaries of the term, handbooks, statistical indexes, review and synthesis information, several books, several journals, several indexed publication, several electronic sources, several abstract sources, and several databases. So locating a literature is never be a problem. There are so many sources. Like yesterday, somebody asked about some model. I immediately gave you a broad database from where they will give it. They will get it. Similarly, you can also clearly locate the literature where it is easily available and start collecting, start reviewing, start reading. Clear up till now? First,
Yes, sir.
keyword. Second, locate literature. Any doubt up till now?
No, sir.
Are you getting something, or it is just one way information only?
Getting, sir.
Good. All right. Now the third step, which is very important, which is really lacking in almost 95% of review of literature work concern. That is critically evaluate selected literature. Use your critical cognitive thinking to evaluate the work. Here, rely on research journal article published in national journal is really a difficult task. So you prioritize your research. First, look for referred journal or referred article. Then you go with the non-referred one if it is not available in the referred one. Then you go with the books. Then you go with the conference paper. Then you go with the dissertations. Then you go with the paper, poster, and other websites. Remember, this is the privatization. You have to privatize. Many people, what they do, they immediately take the information from the textbook. Remember, any textbook, most of the textbook that is available nowadays is almost in a generalized format. The information is of minimum 10-year-old information, not the current information. Are you getting a point? You take any book of any subject.
Yes, sir.
The information that is coded over there is minimum 10-year old than the existing one. And if you are giving prioritize to that information, means your product is 10-year older than the current one. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you have to prioritize. You have to first give importance to referred journals or referred articles. Then you go with the non-referred article. Then you go with the books. Then you go with the conference paper. Then you go with the dissertation or thesis. At last, you try to, if you are not getting information from all these processes or all this location, then you also collect the information from several poster or several posts posted on different websites. See, the post which is posted on the websites are generally and mostly it is individualistic views. It is a partial, personal, self-evaluated report It is not the universally accepted information. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
Yes, sir.
yes, good. Don't purely accept or depend on such information. Another important point related to critically evaluate selected literature concern. Look for research article and avoid as much as possible related to the some of the opinion pieces. You must have seen there is a editorial pages in several what is called magazines in several different journals, not journals, newspapers and websites. There is a personal opinion, and many times we all, even me also, many times because of failing to really use the concept of critical evaluation, we immediately accept it and we start reading, evaluating, discussing, and coding. But in the reality, it is a personal opinion, not the accepted information. So there is a blend of qualitative and quantitative research in your review. You have to give importance to not only the quantitative concept, but also the qualitative concept while developing your review of literature concern. Another important feature, like somebody asked also, how to read research article critically. How to read research article critically. Very simple. I will give you some of the important questions that will really help you to evaluate it critically, which is also called as an appreciation of strength, weakness, and limitation. Strength, you have to see the strength, you have to see the weakness, and you have to see the limitation. How to start? First important point is that identify research aim or question. If somebody want, they can write it also. Identify research aim or question. Second point, identify nature and type of study. Just try to identify the nature and type of study. Another point, important point, identify the ontological position or methodological assumption. Identify the methodological assumption. Another important point, that is very important question is that, is the researcher's value position explicit? The researcher has given the proper valuation to the work. Identify the location, identify the sample size, identify the method used. Also, you try to examine the use of theory, use of deductive or inductive concept. Another important point to critically evaluate it is the important question is that, are analysis or method clearly explained or not? The method that is defined or analysis that is carried out is clearly explained or not. Whether the conclusion is appropriate or not, which is supporting the evidence or not. What are its implications for policy and practice concern? Means suggestive measures. What is the relevance of this work? Whether it is useful for the society or not, whether it is useful for the future or not. You have to keep all these points in your mind. Once you keep all these points, then it will be very easy for you to develop or critically evaluate your literatures and the point that is coming out, not the copy, not the abstract format that we have seen, not the summary of the work. It is your interpretation of the work, where you have coded, given importance to the researcher in each and every concept with its limitation, with its strength, with its weaknesses. Right? Is it all right?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt to any one of you?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No,
You
sir.
all are really very good. I thought that there must be so many doubts. No one is having any doubt. All
I
right.
have no doubt, sir, because your explanation way is very slow and very good, sir.
Okay, just hold on, just 1 second. Just hold on 1 second. Hello. Now it's audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Sorry for interruptions. I had to receive one important call. Okay. All right. So the third step was related to the critically evaluating the research article. Now the fourth step is organize the literature. Once we did the keywords, then locate the sources, then critically evaluate it. Now organize the literature. We have see we have developed a complete structure. Once we find it, the keyword, from the keyword, we locate the sources. From the sources, we collected the information. Information, we have filtered it as per the requirement of the research concern with our vision in each and every steps concern. Now, once we filtered the information, same work, one work filtered it. So all the work we have to filter it. And then we try to organize the literature. The fourth step is that the filtered information has to be organized as per my uses. Remember, don't think that what is did. Forget about that. Now we have to smartly use his work for my purpose. So we start organizing the literature. So here you have to create a file. You have to create a file system to keep track of what you read, Each article you read should be summarized in one page containing title, use remember that one, sources, research problem, research question or hypothesis, data collecting procedures, and result and finding. Remember the six information. Either you develop a six file, either in the form of Word file, Excel file, tablet information, or any format, whatever is easy for you. You divide the single work into six sections. One is either the same section, one section itself, you make a table, one to make a six different boxes. First table, then the sources, then the research problem with two lines, research question or hypothesis, then data collection process. Here to give a description of the sample characteristics that can be very handy as well, not the whole description. Many times I've seen that people start copying each and everything. That's not required. Few points that will be handy for you. Then the last box is result or finding of the study. Okay. Here, another important point that is very important is sort the abstract or information into group of related topic or area, which can then become the different section of your review. All right. This is the fourth step. Here you have to take one important note. Remember, again, the important for all of you. Somebody's video is open. Sound is kindly unmute yourself. Hello. Shall we proceed? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Here you have to take some important note, and that is very important for you. Decide on the format in which you will take the notes as you read the articles. It's very clear because you are going to use the same format throughout your 5 or 6 year concerns. Second important point, define the key terms. Key terms should be a motive for filtering the information. Third point, note key statistics that you may want to use in the introduction of your review. So key statistics must be there. Next point, try to give emphasis on strength and weaknesses. Strength and weaknesses of the work. Another important point, identify major trend or pattern. Identify the major trend or pattern of the work concern. Identify the gap in the literature. Identify the relationship among studies. Keep your review focused on your topic. Another important note, which is very important one, evaluate your reference for current and updated one. So these are the important points, which almost many people never give importance and sometimes they forget it also. And the last fifth step is summarize the literature in the table or concept map format. Here you can create a table using a table features within either in the Microsoft or Excel. You can create a initially in the Excel, then you transfer it over here. The advantage of using Excel is that it enables you to sort out your finding according to variety of factors. Either it is related to date, or related to author, or related to methodology, or related to summary material, related to any keywords or anything which you make it which is altogether feasible for you. So start developing the summaries or summarize the literature in tabulated format or in the form of a map. Okay, these are the 5 steps that you have to keep in your mind. And at last, the whole product, we can say that our whole concept, we used to say that the structure of literature review has to be reflective in nature. Means either I or somebody else, third person who is not at all directly related to this topic, fourth person who's totally new, your research supervisor, some other person, the moment they see this chart, They are very clear, means the chart itself is self-explanatory in nature. It may not be like that. That creates several confusions. Tomorrow, after a year or so, when you take that chart, you'll find, oh, what is that? What you have written? Why you have written like this? What it means? Why it is incomplete? What are the things that is missing? Several confusion came in the mind because research is not 1 day or 2 day phenomena. It is a 5 or 6 year gap phenomena. And many times, some of the material you kept it here and there for the future course of action. If you're not thorough with this, it always create problem and your whole work will become a vague work. So there is a not one ideal structure for your literature review. So talk to your guide or supervisor about this, what pattern he follow. Generally, that is more important because he is going to guide you. Consider whether you wish to organize your literature review either in the chronological fashions, thematic fashions, development of idea concern, or combination of this. Many people, they have a different visions. Like I generally used to give importance based on the chronological fashion. Means the most recent one first, then the oldest, then the oldest, then the oldest, then the oldest. Or the most oldest one first, then further new, further new, further new, then the new one. Any one chronological format I followed so that we can see the evolution of changes. We can see the technological development. We see the changes in the based on the time format as far as the modification that carried out on that particular research. Make sure that you always explain your structure for your readers for and in such a specific manner that it must be very clear and narrative in nature. Right? Is it clear to all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, another important dimension that is really highly tough one for most of the people. Synthesize the literature prior to writing your review. Remember the discussion part. Synthesize your literature prior to writing your review. So using the notes that you have taken or prepared in the form of a summary, in the form of formulation, develop an outline of your final review. Why? Because many times it happens that the same work was done by more than 50 people. They have a similar kind of finding, except they work on different population, different area, and different places. And it's not advisable that you have to code each and every one separately. Otherwise, the thesis will become more than 5,000 pages. Review of literature itself will become 500 pages. So what we have to do, we just try to club all those study which is similar in nature, whose finding is very similar to each other, which seems to be of almost similar in methodology format, result format, as well as its suggestive format. Okay, and that is quite possible once you will see your tabulation that you have developed. So here there are some of the key steps as outlined by a great scientist called Galvin. According to him, there are four important key steps. First, consider your purpose before beginning to write. Consider how resemble your notes. Create a topic outline that trace your argument. Reorganize your notes according to the path of your argument. In this way, you can synthesize the literature prior to writing your review. Along with this, you have to also think about some other important point like within each topic heading, note differences among studies. Like I will quote very simple example. Like I did work on textile workers. And in the textile field, you have seen that there are several occupational problems faced by the workers related to the health concern. Like very common one is breathing problem or lung problem. They have a noise problem. They have a different kinds of burning sensations. They have a different kinds of sensation related to the body ache concerns, musculoskeletal problem concerns, problem related to the reduction in the fertility concerns, problem related to the mental disorder concerns, problem related to the deformities of the body concerns, problem related to the accident concerns. Here, I told you series of problems. And this problem is not for one industry. Almost most of the industry will find a similar kind of problem. If you really wanted to know the occupational hazard conditions concern. So here, you can clearly say that all the people who define that there is a problem related to respiration, group of people, they are finding, group of people who say that there is a skin related disease, group of people who say that there is a musculoskeletal problem, group of people who say that there is a mental problem. So you just club all those who say that respiratory problem, all those who said that there is a musculoskeletal problem, all those who said that there is a other problem. You try to club, then only it will be easier for you to explain it. So within each topic heading, look for obvious gap and areas which needed more research. You also try to plan to describe relevant theories. Think about the model very clearly. Here, the things that I discussed, you can clearly develop one model because of the poor working environment, lack of awareness, maybe illiteracy, maybe the exploitative nature of the industrialist. They faced several health problems. This is one model, relational model. You can very clearly say that. All right. So here you can develop a relevant theories. Theories is that poor socioeconomic conditions leads to deterioration of health and production of the industries. Deterioration of the health of the worker and production of the industries. This is one theory, and that is quite universal. If the moment you improve the working conditions, you will find the health of the worker will be improved as well as the production of the industries will increase. This is directionally clear-cut universal theory. It will be applicable to village. It will be applicable to urban area. It will be applicable to USA. It will be applicable to African country as well as anywhere, and that is universally proved. And that I have proved with the certain result concern. Same way, you can develop a relevant theories. You can also plan to discuss how individual studies relate to an advanced theories. You can plan to summarize periodically, plan to represent conclusion and implications, plan to suggest specific direction for future research. So these particular points will help you to synthesize the literature prior to writing your review. Clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes.
sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, how to develop a model? If I want to work on the basis of model, then how to proceed through a model? If our problem is, if I want to work on education system related to any topic like presence of absentee of student in the school, I want to develop a model. Then how I will proceed it?
First and very important one, good question. You try to see what are the factors. There are series of factors that is related to the model. Try to see what type of relation they have. Is it the direct or indirect? Is it related to some conditions or unconditional in nature? And according to all the variables and its relation, either indirect or indirect format or conditional or unconditional format, you can develop a relational model. You can clearly develop the relational model, and that model is always universal in nature because it is not you are developing directly of your own. You have developed based on the earlier research that was carried out, and the earlier research is the response of the success of the work. Are you getting a point?
Yes, sir.
And that model further, you will use it for your research to give the justification. If you prove it, that model is accepted. If you fail to prove it, there must be some other conclusive information coming with the modification of model. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it all right to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All
Sir,
right.
yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
how we can identify the need to the this like example another topic to study. Uh, the cancer study. Which type approaches used in this? How can identify it?
I'm not getting your point. Please repeat your question, please, once again.
How can we identify the
Hmm.
research approaches used in different type of study, just like a cervical cancer on study in hospitalized women and urban rural areas must be women.
If you follow once again, very simple. I told you 5 steps.
Yes, sir.
From the 5 steps, you will get the clear-cut idea. Just find out the keywords, find out the literature sources, find out the what kind of work is going on, find out how much it is relevant to you. Just critically evaluate it and compile it. Everything is over. Are you getting my point?
Yes,
You
sir.
don't have
Yes,
any
sir.
problem. From there, you will easily get the everything.
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Excuse me, sir. I have one
Yes.
doubt.
Yes.
Yes, please.
I, if in case I want to make a research like effectiveness of metformin in PCOS patients,
Okay.
so my keyword will be, matlab, how will I going to find my keywords in this research problem?
Simple. You yourself has said 4 or 5 keywords. What are the first term you said?
Metformin,
One keyword. Another things.
PCOS,
Second keyword. Another thing.
effectiveness.
Effectiveness between the two. This is the 3 things you have said that. This is a keyword only.
Okay, okay,
The term
uh,
itself is a keyword.
okay, sir. Thank you.
You will get it directly from the Google. You will get it directly from the several database. You can see the index of the book. You just find out the term, and from the term you can just read out. That is a keyword.
Okay, sir. So
All right.
I have to mention description. Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
Please
you,
tell
sir.
me, Parul. Yeah. All right.
Sir, I was asking, so I have to mention a complete description of all the keywords in my ROL.
Simple. If you are searching the material, that keyword is enough. You will get a several sites. You go through whichsoever information is relevant to you, open it, read it. First thing. Otherwise, the same keyword, you go to the any index book, any as such statistic book, any as such sources, where you'll find it either in the last, each and every book, last few pages is containing the index, which shows the explanation of the word concern. From that word, you just go to the book where it is available, read out the material. If it is suited to you, very good. If not so, there are series of journals are there who is carrying out work on similar topic, similar area. From there, you will get ample amount of information.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
All right. Any other problem?
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, going on for studies, for
Mhm.
example, I'm using silver nanoparticles for medicinal purpose, and
Mhm.
that extract itself is having some medicinal purpose. But
Mhm.
going on through the review, I wanted to do in a silver nanoparticle. But what the
Mhm.
examiners are asking, if the leaf itself is having the extract itself is having the medicinal value, why should you go for nanoparticles? But my point of view is for curing and for wound healing, etc. The silver is a very effective one. So that's why I wanted to use silver nanoparticles. Can we explain our words to justify my point, sir? Using this
Yes,
review of literature, they're saying in the review, if
obviously.
you find that extract is okay, then why should you find out for nanoparticles? They're asking like that. What should I do, sir?
Simple. There is two beautiful answers. You have yourself has given answer. each and every person's always look for alternate, modified, and different source of action. We all know extract is useful, all right, but it is not extract. There are some other particles which is present in this material can also be useful. Tomorrow, just think in that one. Tomorrow, we all know that there are different kinds of pollution, different kinds of environmental hazard, different kinds of effect of the climate and environment is going on the different natural material concern. Maybe it might have some impact. We fail to get the extract directly. Then we have to depend on this nanoparticle. If we have a full-fledged proper information well in advance, then tomorrow problem can be solved much before then it becomes a crisis. Are you getting a point?
Sir, yes, sir.
Got it? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Satisfied or not?
Yeah, but I have another doubt because
Yeah.
he's full-fledgedly he's saying that other person who came and he wanted to know about my work. He was asking if this is if you have many review of literature also, yours should not be following theirs. And I said that review of literature is to find out whether they have found this medicine in a effective way, but mine will be on a another way. That means something at least 0.1%. If I show more increased effectiveness, then it will be okay. I don't know whether they'll accept my point or not. Using this review of
Maybe
literature,
maybe
they're talking. Yes, sir.
maybe I think so. Maybe he might be having a different vision. First thing, or he might be have a restrictive knowledge. Second thing. Third important feature is that either you fail to explain him what is your core objective of the research. Maybe he might be thinking something else because the whole research revolves around your objective, and that may be good or bad. That is secondary. That depend on the your supervisor and all the other things are concerned. If you are fulfilling that objective, then I don't think so. Any external anybody is there to comment on that. All right.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm getting the confidence, more confidence from your answer. Thank you so
All right.
much.
All right. All right. Okay. Any other doubt? Okay, now we'll proceed toward the sources of review of literature. As I already told you, there is a primary source, secondary source. I don't have to go with that. You all must be knowing. So we may say that there are series of other sources from where we get the literature materials like magazine, newspaper, electronic database, book, journal, conference paper, thesis, encyclopedia, dictionary, research report that I already told you. I'm not going to discuss about that. Yeah, important point over here is that many people generally they are not very well versed with the electronic sources. They generally Google it, whatever is available, they just download it without thinking about whether it is Wikipedia or ABCD. Many times these open sources, if it is not authentic, if it is not proved, if it is not research oriented, then try to avoid it. Don't accept it blindly. This is an important suggestion for all of you. Think about the real important sources are website like Publon, PubMed, this what is called Scopus Index, and several important one, which shows some specific dimensional approach. Medline, Eric, and so many sources are there, which is very important. So try to concentrate on authentic standard one, which give relevance to good research, which give relevance to index research. So give importance to such journals. Try to concentrate also on important on research reports. Many people they never, I don't think so. People used to read the research report of the government, of the international organizations, of the several institutions. You try to read on that. If possible, try to give some important or relevance to some of the recent conferences, especially in the form of a invited notes, in the form of a known personality lectures, in the form of a specific concept note that used to come periodically. Okay, that you try to give because that is really recent one. So at last we may say that if you follow the steps of review of literature concern, it start with a broad bibliographic format. Then you start thinking about developing a thematic organizations. Then you concentrate on more readings material concern. From this reading, you write individual sections. Then you develop from this into individual section, you develop an integrated section, and ultimately you'll find a full-fledged proper review of literature concern, which has almost all the sections which will be justifiable in natures. And this information you can use at the introduction section, you can use in the body of literature, in the body of the research, as well as during the conclusion format also. There are some of the important steps related to the writing the review concerns, like you will get the information related to the topic, you will get the information related to the research finding and source of information, you will get the information related to this the methodology that you will use, several important exceptional sources, its strength, its weaknesses. Now let me tell you, I will give you one beautiful question. I think so that will be important for you all. Let me just go to the some of the important questions. That's it. It is just in a true and false format, and I want all of you take a note. Just 5 minutes. It won't take more than that. I will give you 5 or 6 questions. Just read this statement and identify whether it is true or false. Then I will tell you the answer also. All of you, please take your note. Something, any writable material. Fast.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
the
sir.
5 6 question is in the true or false format. T and F. Anything you can write. All right. Can I tell you the question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the first question is that a literature review should refer to all key literature in your field of study. First, you write down all the question, then I will discuss.
It's
I
true,
will
sir.
I will tell. Don't tell the answer. I will discuss. Don't worry. So the first point, once again, I'm repeating. A
Sorry, sir.
literature review should refer to all key literature in your field of study. Second question, a literature review should always identify a need for further research. Third question, a thesis statement is important to guide research for a literature review. Again, I'm repeating the third question. A thesis statement is important to guide research for a literature review. Fourth question, a research question is important to guide research for a literature review. Again, I'm repeating, a research question is important to guide research for a literature review. Fifth question, literature which is not related to your research objective should be discarded. Literature which is not related to your research objective should be discarded. Next point, there is one widely recognized standard structure for a literature review. There is one widely recognized standard structure for a literature review. All right. So you've written all the 6 questions.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Anybody who has not written? Shall we discuss the answer?
Yes. Sir, please tell me second question, sir. Please, 1 second, please. Second question, sir.
Second question is that a literature review should always identify a need for further research.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I have no network connection, so please again repeat, please, all questions. Sorry to and
All right.
speedily. Sorry, sir, because I have no. I
No,
have
no problem. I will tell the organizer. They will send you the recorded part. Don't worry. All right. Now, all right. Don't worry. That's not a big issue. All right.
oh,
Now let's discuss the answer of all these questions. What will the answer of first question?
True.
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 Answer is false.
Why,
What is the
sir?
answer of second question? I will tell you. Don't worry. Don't worry. What is the question of what is the answer of second question?
True.
second
True.
review need to
True.
also.
True, sir. True.
Okay. All right. Second is true. Third one,
True.
True.
False.
third
False.
one is true. True. Fourth one,
True.
False.
fourth one,
True.
fourth one is true.
True, sir.
Fifth one,
True. Also true.
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 fifth is also true. Sixth one,
Sixth one. No idea, sir.
True.
sixth one, last one.
True.
True. True.
Very bad. False. So first and sixth is false. Second, third, fourth, and fifth is true. Once again, you see the questions, read it twice and thrice. You'll get the answer. Don't be too hurry. Another important point, and it is very important for all of you. All these 6 questions that I discuss with you, it is actually already asked in the UGC net question paper. So just be very clear about the information, because you'll always find 3 or 4 questions in the UGC net first paper coming out directly from the review of literature part. There is a unit called research aptitude, teaching and research aptitude. This is very important area. This thing that I discuss, keep it thoroughly revised format. Even if you face any problem, feel free to interact whenever time permit. I will send you the response. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's all for today. I think so. We have discussed
Excuse
ample
me,
amount of
sir.
informations,
Sir, first,
and we'll try. Yeah. Please
why it is false?
read. What is that? A literature review should refer to all key literature in your field of study.
Sir,
All key literature. Is it
all
possible?
the literature keywords should be referred, right?
Right? You are getting a point? Got it or not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, by using a keyword, we are going to search the content. Is it, sir?
Yeah, what?
Sir, by using the keywords, sir. Through the
Yeah,
keywords only, we can getting the content, sir.
yeah, exactly.
So that's why we said it is a true.
No, here they mention all key literature.
All.
I told you many times, you are not going to use all. You have to use only which is relevant to your objective.
Okay, sir. Okay. In
Yes,
that
sir.
point of view, it's wrong. Okay, sir.
Yes. That's why I told you, read the statement. They used to ask such a simple question. 95% people used to commit such mistakes. That's why the percentage of selection is always 5, 6, 10%. Never be like this. 90% people are failure, 10% is getting the success. They are not full. They will ask such a simple question directly. They force you to be very clear in your basic thought. And that's
Okay,
keep
sir.
on insisting many points forcibly. If you remember during my whole lecture of today and yesterday, right?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
today our lectures.
Yes, what?
Today is last day.
But for me, the last day. I don't know about all the other program.
So
Yeah, I'm not able to listen your word.
review of literatures.
Hello, your voice is not clear.
Excuse me, sir.
Anything else? Yeah.
Sir, kindly share your mail ID for further reference for if they
No
have any
group.
doubt
You have
clear.
developed. You have developed the group, madam. We have developed the group,
Okay, sir.
right? WhatsApp group is there.
Yes, sir.
That itself is enough. We'll continue with that.
Okay, so through the group link we can share our queries.
Yeah. That's not issue. That's not issue.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. So, any other doubt? Any other discussion?
No, sir. It's more informative. Thank you so much. We get some clear idea. Thank you.
According to plagiarism report, sir, they
Yes.
find more plagiarisms in the review of literature only, no?
See, there is a format, and I told you many times. In fact, completely when defining all the 4 steps concerns, basically many people they just copied it directly and paste it over here. Actually, it is not so. That is a wrong way. That's why the plagiarism percentage is quite high. You have to critically evaluate that information for your purpose. When you critically evaluate it, that whole materials of somebody's research will be converted into your language and that become your product. Are you getting a point? Hello?
Yes.
And in that case, the plagiarism part will be 0.
Yes, sir, I can.
Like very simple. I just want to code one simple finding. Jaiswal and Sinha in the year 2011 did a experimental studies among, you take any populations, using this and this technique, come with the conclusion that the population face this problem under this condition. This is one review of literature. Here, see, complete things of somebody's work is described in couple of lines using my own language. Here you will not find even a single word which is plagiarized in nature. But this is the finding of somebody else. But I converted it in this such a specific format that it become product of my research. And you will not find a single line which comes under the plagiarized format, plagiarized list, in fact. Right?
Yes, sir. It's nice.
Anything else? Yes, organizing group.
Sir, two
Anybody?
questions are being posted in the inbox. Inbox, there are 2 questions. Can you please
Yeah, please read out the question. It's not visible clearly over here. Yeah, please.
Nandini ma'am, can you read?
Hello.
Nandini ma'am, please read those two questions.
Sir, the question is, please say what punishment is given for plagiarism as per UGC. Number one. Second
Hmm.
question is, suggest one or two e-tools for review writing.
Very good. See, as far as the punishment concerns, first important thing is that they have given some relaxation. Till 10%, they will accept it. If it is more than 10%, it is coming within the range of 10 to 20%, they will give you a direction to re-review it, modify it, and resubmit it. If they, even though if they fail, then obviously their work will be cancelled. If it is more than 30% and if it is submitted, then the university or organization used to take strong action, not only against the student, but also against the supervisor by banning them not to guide for a certain period of time. Even many places I have seen that if the plagiarism part is more than 50%, they even cut their increment also. All right.
Sir,
So
another
be
one
very
question
careful,
is,
both student as well as teacher.
sir, another one question is, suggest one or two e-tools for review writing.
See, review writing nowadays, most of the standard journals, they used to define their own review format in the form of a standardized sheet concern. You just take out that format, you just take any one of them. Your subject, there must be some of the standard journal. You open that one, they will show you some of the format. Just take out that one and review the materials, cut and paste that material, convert it in your language. That is the best one, first thing. Second thing is that nowadays series of softwares are there. And series of other database are there. Okay. Over there, you can just put material. They will give you the relevant dimensional information. Either you have to feed it or they then many times filtered it. But here you'll find one important problem over here is that if you leave it for the data, you leave it for the tools to carry it out, many times they fail to give the proper information. It may be overlapping in nature. Better you yourself feed the information, then it will be easy for you to evaluate it, analyze it, and use it for the future. Clear?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Any other buddy? Anybody else?
Sir,
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Please tell me what happened. So now I think so. Is there any other question from any one of you?
No, sir.
Okay. All
Thank you,
right
sir.
then. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this informative session. No duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank our resource person, Dr. Ajeet Jaiswal, sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Anthropology, Pondicherry University, who handled the session on strategies for writing the literature review. Through this workshop, he clearly explained the strategies for writing literature review. He spent his busiest time on gracing this occasion. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, heartfelt thanks to our director, Dr. Pradeep, sir, and advisory committee members. Further, a special thanks to everyone who made this occasion a grand manner. We thank you all for being with us. Digital certificates will be provided, and thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much to all of you. Thank you so much to organizing group for organizing such an important program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your wonderful
Thank you
session.
all. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Ajit sir. Thank you very much. Insightful session.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you.